With Matchday on BBC Radio, Suffolk and Ipswich Town are about to kick off their 2026. Let's get back to Portman Road and join our commentary team with former Town captain Mick Mills back alongside Brenna Woolley.
The big question now is, can Ipswich Town build on their best performance of the season so far as they kick off 2026 at home to struggling Oxford United, with revenge on their minds after November's defeat at the Kassam Stadium. But if the Blues can repeat Monday's display at leaders Coventry, it will almost certainly be too strong for today's visitors. Funny life for that simple. This is Ipswich Town and the ever unpredictable championship, remember, so none of us should be getting too carried away. What we can say at this stage, though, is that this is a real opportunity for Kieran McKenna's men to kick on, and that's what they simply have to do. They need to make the most of facing a club that's staring down the barrel of returning to League One after a two-season stint in the second tier. Of course, the fact that Oxford have already got the better of Town this season will give them some hope. With a bit of luck, they'll come up against a very different Ipswich this afternoon. Mick, any concerns over this one as far as Town are concerned?
Not really. It's all, you know, I think Kieran has mentioned it's a mental thing today. It's a mindset, you know, because that was an absolutely fabulous performance and a great result at Coventry. I cannot believe how bad we made Coventry look. It was just incredible to watch. It really was. But this is different. You know, we are by far the favourites for this game. You know, it just depends on the players. If they take it easy, they will find it will be a difficult game.
Two sets of players around the centre circle here as Portman Road pays respects to Robin Turner, former Ipswich Town player who passed away recently.
He was an important and much-loved member of the squads which won the FA Cup in 1978 and the UEFA Cup in 1981 under Sir Bobby Robson, and will be sorely missed. The thoughts of everyone at Ipswich Town are with Robin's family and friends at this time. We will now have a minute's applause for Robin, which will end on the referee's whistle.
A nice tribute, Mick, to a man that you clearly knew very well, Robin Turner.
Yes, he was, you know, very much a squad player when, you know, I was sort of getting towards the end of my career, really. But he was a very good player to bring in. We never really carried big squads in those days, so you had to rely on the likes of Robin, who were fresh out of the youth team. They had to sort of hit the ground very, very quickly. They had to mature quickly, and he was one of the number that came through and helped us immensely.
Four changes for Town this afternoon. Out go Greaves, Taylor, Clark and Athon. In come Davis, Kayuste, Philogene and Akbom. Walton in the goal off to our left. The back four, Furlong, O'Shea, Kipre, Davis, Matusiwa alongside Kayuste. Then you've got Eggerly, Nunez and Philogene. Akbom leads the line. On the bench, Palmer, Jack Clark, Taylor, Athon, Greaves, Young, Burns, McAteer and Johnson. Out goes Spencer, Luke Harris, Mills and Prelets from the Oxford side that lost 1-0 to Swansea. In come Long, Volks and Krastev and Lancashire. Coming as their keeper. They've got back four of Long, Halleck, Brown and Curry. Then a midfield of Volks alongside De Kersmacher. There's Poiheta, Goodrum and Krastev in behind Lancashire. On the bench, Ingram, Mark Harris, Luke Harris, Romney, Spencer, Mills, Bradshaw, Lee, that's Greg Lee, former Ipswich Town player, back here for the first time, and Dembele. Town in blue, white, blue, defending the end off to our left-hand side. So kicking from the Sir Bobby Robson end to the Sir Ralph Ramsey stand. in this first period. Oxford United in their yellow-bodied shirts with navy sleeves, navy shorts and yellow socks. Town immediately passing the ball around inside their half of the field. Kipre had another excellent game on Monday at the CBS Arena. Gives the ball to Davis, who of course missed out. It was a rare Ipswich Town League 11 without the Geordie on Monday because of illness. Great to see him back. Still no Sam Smodics though in this Ipswich Town 20-man squad, as the ball is back with Walton. So composed, confident and assured at the moment. The Ipswich Town goalkeeper, along with Jack Clark and Arsene Nunez, was in the team of the weekend in the Championship for that clean sheet, back-to-back clean sheet since Christmas for Walton. He's in possession in the D off to our left, and it goes out short to the captain, Dara O'Shea. Is he going to be leading Ipswich Town to the Premier League in the next 5-6 months? Eggerly to the halfway line. Furlong, how he enjoyed his battle down the Ipswich right with Mason Clark on Monday afternoon. A real feature of that win over Frank Lampard's side. Matusiwa to Akpom. Town with all the possession, coming forward early doors. Philogene, this has to be a threat to Oxford. Inside the area is Davis. Davis with a pullback. Flag's gone up against Ipswich Town as they cut through the Oxford ranks inside 90 seconds.
Yeah, terrific sort of start by Leif Davis, really. I know the build-up was a nice one, but, you know, the trademark sort of pacey run of Leif Davis there. We had Jacob Greaves in that position at Coventry, and he played the position really well, but he hasn't obviously got the pace that Leif Davis has got when he makes that type of run. But Jacob did really well. Leif has started well again.
Coming in a washed out grey kit off to our right, gets the ball up beyond halfway. Lancashire can't make it stick. Town have it with O'Shea, runs to the centre circle, then he loses possession but gets the rub of the green as it bounces back favourably for him. Could have easily gone wrong. Furlong, fine ball to the halfway line from the fullback. Eggley tries the little back heel, but it's intercepted by De Keersmaker. Down the left hand side, Curry, the young left back. Once again, De Keersmaker, the Belgian, infield. Ipswich win it back. Good work from Kiyuste. Out to the right hand side, Eggley, edge of the area, inside the box. Eggley shoots left-footed, blocked off by Brown, and he clips it up and away. The left-sided centre half of Oxford. Furlong's header goes out of play near side for a throw to the left back, Curry of Oxford.
Well, that one was gifted to us, it's a mistake by Oxford, but we seized upon it. So already we've gone into an excellent position down the left-hand side and an excellent position down the right-hand side. And probably you could say we should have done better from both situations.
Cold afternoon, as you would expect, on the 1st of January. Lights are on at Portman Road, rather grey, but good conditions for football. Not much around in the way of wind. As Town have the ball on the halfway line. It's caretaker manager Craig Short currently in charge of Oxford United after the dismissal of Gary Rowett. Alan Sheehan, the former Swansea manager, the favourite to take over at the Kassam Stadium. The likes of Matt Bloomfield and Liam Manning with the connections to this club, also fairly short in terms of the odds. Also Tony Mowbray. There's a fair number of people with Ipswich connections being linked with that particular job. Here is O'Shea, closed down by Lancashire, gets it out to the right hand side. Eggley, he's seen a fair bit of the ball in the early exchanges. Back to Matusiwa. Eggley once more with Dara O'Shea, another who's been in possession a fair bit in this first 4 minutes. Oh, the captain almost loses it. Poor from him. Again, he gets away with it. The ball somehow finds Philogene far side, trying to take on Poeta. Poeta gets his body between man and ball. And now it's with Brown, the number 3, into midfield. In comes a crunching challenge from Eggley. Brown has really felt that. He's been winded by the now apologetic Town number 8.
Yeah, they're unfortunate, those ones, where, the player is dwelling on the ball slightly. The incoming player quite rightly believes he can take possession, and he just gets it wrong, really. What happens is the player doesn't really do what he would have done on the ball if he had more time, and in the end it's like a quick nick of the ball to get it away, and it's a fast action that means that the player coming in is going to be late.
Free kick at the back for Oxford. Finally up on his feet again, Brown, although he is hobbling slightly. Full match commentary of this game live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport, as we will have a Town's first away trip of the year at Portsmouth on Sunday. That's also a 3 o'clock kick-off. Davis over on the far side, the left, reunited with his mate Philogene this afternoon. Jack Clarke a little bit unfortunate not to be starting this game, Mick. I mean, it's almost toss of a coin, Clarke or Philogene, but you've got to feel sorry for Jack Clarke, haven't you?
Yeah, very much so. He's the one I probably feel the most sorry for, because he is a first choice player without question, but unfortunately he plays in the same position as Jayden Philogene, and you've got to say that Philogene was in charge of the position to start with, done nothing wrong at all. Jack Clarke has done nothing wrong when he's sort of appeared, but he has been number 2, so this is how it'll go through right to the end of the season, I'm sure of it. But then Jack Clarke has got a big decision to make.
Ball headed up to halfway line by Oxford. On it is Kayuste. Nice layoff from Akpom. Nunez, 2 more assists the other day. Gets the ball out to Egley on the right hand side. Overlapping is Furlong outside the Oxford area. Attempts to get his cross in. Comes back off of the defender, then off of Furlong. And that's most definitely a goal kick. Furlong frustrated, but the officials definitely got that one right. Talking to the officials, Will Finney is the referee in his second championship game of the season. Did the League 2 playoff final last year. Lee Doughty is the 4th official, and underneath us between Craig Short and Kieran McKenna. Kieran's 200th game in charge of Ipswich Town this afternoon. Here comes Cumming with this right footer straight down the park. Furlong wins it in the air, going up above Goodrum. It's all Town in terms of possession early on in this game, not a massive surprise, but yet to be tested with 7 on the clock. Kayuste, lovely running in midfield, great balance and technique, strength as well. Nunez into the box for Akpom, who goes down, might get a second bite at it. Nunez in the area. Nunez turns edge of the box, gives it to Egley, who tries to pick his spot. Probably should have done better off his stronger left foot.
Yeah, you can just sense that the initial part of that sort of attack, there was a little bit of a mistake again by an Oxford player. You know, he's diving in. You know, he's never going to win the ball, and he creates space for Town to develop the play in, and they've got to be careful that they don't make too many mistakes like that, because they're going to put themselves in trouble. In the end, the shot was a little bit tame from Egley, but it's that sort of initial sort of mistake by the Oxford team, really.
Strong header from Furlong from the goal kick. Out of play, though. It goes off of Nunez underneath us for a throw to Curry. Yeah, just went over the bar, that effort from Egley, but should have been on target. 8 minutes on the clock. You haven't missed any goals if you're just joining us on BBC Radio Suffolk. Davis, Kayuste, Philogene and Akpom all back in the Ipswich Town side. Still no George Hurst or Sam Smoddix. Wes Burns might get his first taste of football at Portman Road for a long, long time as this one progresses. Pretty much a year since we last saw him here. It's been so good to see Wes Burns in action at Millwall, and then just put the cherry on the top of the cake, the goal at Coventry on Monday for him. Undoubtedly one of Town's most popular goals of last year, that one. Here is O'Shea carrying the ball out and then eventually releasing it to his left hand side, and Kipre again too much on that. That's the second time he's done that. Out of play far side for a throw to the visitors.
Well, it looks like our centre-halves are going to have an awful lot of the ball, so they've got to make sure they deal with it in the right way. We've already seen 2 minor sort of errors from Dara O'Shea trying to play short and dwelling on the ball, and we've seen sort of Kipre guilty of a couple of long passes that haven't been good enough. So, you know, they're going to have a lot of the ball. They've got to be good.
Just 2 wins from their 12 away games so far for Oxford United. They won at Bristol City and Sheffield Wednesday. 7 defeats on the road so far. There are only 2 wins anywhere in the last 12 were against Ipswich and Southampton. O'Shea picks out Philogene perfectly. Philogene wide left outside the Oxford area, gets the byline, cross the far post towards Egley, just too high for him, and out the other side for a throw in it left back to Oxford.
Yeah, we was talking about that with Jayden Philogene, where they definitely are blocking the inside movement that he's got. They're almost handing him the opportunity to go down the outside, and we've actually said to one another he seems reluctant to do it. On that occasion he wasn't reluctant.
It's a foul by O'Shea underneath us on Lancashire. Looking forward to seeing Lancashire this afternoon on loan from Tottenham. Wonder if he's one that Town might have a little look at in the January window. He's done very well for Oxford, all things considered. 5 goals this season, has been in and out of the team. Played very well when he came off the bench against Ipswich Town the back end of November. Let's go back to Graham for goal news.
Leaguers Coventry ahead at Charlton. Watford leading Birmingham City 1-0.
Should be a nice little one, given Charlton's current form, for Coventry to get themselves back to winning ways this afternoon. Win for Wrexham earlier on lunchtime, beating Blackburn 2-0 at Ewood Park. Lovely play from Kayuste again. Great first touch. Infield to Nunez. That's brilliant by the Swede. What can the Chilean do? Forward come Ipswich Town. Egley inside the area, tries to touch it back to Nunez. Or was it just a miscontrol for himself? Either way, Oxford get it out wide, and Town didn't make the most of the chance.
There's a chance again. They're the positions you want to get in, but I just feel that Nunez didn't really clarify what he wanted to do there. His ball was a little bit too firm. I think he's got to be better in those situations.
Furlong with a throw for Ipswich Town at 0-0. 11 minutes gone at Portman Road on this New Year's Day game. Forward he comes, Furlong, with this long flat throw towards the penalty spot, headed away after a shout by Hellick onto the chest of Nunez. Nunez gives it to Furlong, who pops it back to the Chilean. He controls it, then crosses in dangerously. Lovely ball from Nunez, sliced out behind by Long, the right back, corner to Town.
Yeah, it was a lovely ball, but there were 8 yellow shirts all just outside the 6-yard box there, so it looked dangerous, but it was probably always going to be a yellow shirted player that was going to make contact with it, but we won a corner anyway.
Kayuste has done a couple of really nice things in midfield, driving Ipswich Town forward so far. He's in for Taylor this afternoon. Corner kick to Ipswich, the first for either side in this championship game. It's Leif Davis by the tunnel, off to our right hand side. It'll be a left-footed in-swinger from the fullback, low to the near post, dealt with by the forehead of Goodrum. Davis controls it, clips the high moving ball into the box towards Kipre, headed out by Poeta. Egley with an effort which didn't have anything on it really in terms of power or direction. It didn't even go out behind in the end. It was cleared forward but out of play by Volks for a throw to Ipswich on the far side. Town totally on top in this one so far.
Yeah, I was just looking at the 6-yard box from the corner. There were 8 Oxford players in there, 5 Town players, so you've got 13 plus the goalkeeper in that small area, so it's a very dangerous thing to have to defend.
O'Shea gives the ball to Kipre on the halfway line, back to Dara O'Shea. O'Shea hits it to the left, looking for Davis. It's over the top and long, and Davis wasn't ready to get after it. It's out of play for a throw to Oxford United.
I think Long sort of read it really well, and it just ducked at the last minute. He knew that Leif Davis had sort of hesitated, and leaving the ball alone meant it was going to go out of play.
Oxford United third from bottom, 3 points from safety in that battle with the likes of Norwich City and Charlton and Blackburn down there, Portsmouth as well. At the league table, this is a real opportunity for Ipswich Town to kick on, with all due respect to Oxford and Portsmouth in these last 2 games before the FA Cup gets underway. Opportunities to build on Coventry. Town at the moment only 2 defeats in their last 14, won 4 of their last 6, been keeping clean sheets as well. Third in the table, just a couple of points behind Middlesbrough. Town win a free kick inside their half, the referee unhappy. The ball was rolling, so it's a retake. Furlong crosses halfway with his pass to Egley underneath us, in between 2 players. He loses out, fed in field by Curry. Lancashire going down the middle towards Poeta. Simple defending for Kipre to bring that one down, and it's now O'Shea again on the ball, as he has been numerous times in this first goalless 14 minutes.
Yeah, they're just completely sitting off the play. They just obviously at some point triggers the press, but it's taken an awful long time for it to happen.
Furlong up towards Akpom. Akpom's touch isn't good enough. In goes Volks, taken out late by Akpom. Free kick to Oxford just inside their half of the field. They've never doubled Ipswich Town, Oxford United. Only 1 win and 10 here as well. It's going to be a particularly tall order for them to build on their 2-1 win over Kieran McKenna's men, 5 weeks ago now.
I think we've only seen Christian Morton once in the game so far. He had the ball at his feet on that occasion. He must be, his biggest problem at the moment is keeping warm.
It will be. It is a nippy afternoon Volks plays the free kick backwards to Brown, then Hellick got a touch. Hellick now with Brown again, the left-sided centre-half, wraps his foot around the ball and goes long. There is Walton, an opportunity to come out and take the ball in his chest, or almost put Furlong in a right old pickle there. Got away with it in the end, but that wasn't too good from Walton initially. Free kick to Town in the end, but that was a worry.
No, too casual.
It was.
You know, he just really, sometimes that happens, you know, because you're not involved for such a long period of time, and then you are involved and you sort of make a mistake with your thoughts. You know, that was a bad ball to Furlong, it really was.
He came out, took the ball in his chest in the right back area, Walton, then there was nowhere near enough pace on the ball off the outside of his left boot to Furlong, and Lancashire almost got on it. Thankfully tripped Furlong in the process and Town won a free kick, but could have gone terribly wrong for Ipswich. As it is, Ipswich stroking it around at the back again on 16 minutes, still no goals in this game. Yeah, it was a 2-0 win for Wrexham at lunchtime. Moved them from the point to the playoffs, Wrexham. One of many, many sides that have an opportunity this season, Wrexham, to be in the top 6. Furlong to the halfway line, gives it to Nunez. Nunez goes back to Furlong. There aren't too many potential contenders for the top 2 if you look at Ipswich, Coventry, Middlesbrough. Not sure anybody else can get themselves up. Maybe Hull, but unlikely. But in terms of the other places in the top 6, wide open for lots and lots of teams. Nunez round the corner to Akpom, then Eggley to Davis. Davis touches it to Philogene. What a goal this would be. The effort from Philogene blocked off, comes back to Kayuste just inside the area. A little back heel to Philogene in the box. Town have to rebuild. Davis into the area just behind Kayuste, brought away by Krastev. One back by Kayuste. Philogene thought about having a go. A little step over inside the area, wants it on his right foot, eventually gets it on his right foot, and the end product was inevitable. It's another terrific goal from Jayden Philogene. This one low, bent into the corner of the net. He moves to 9 for the season, and Town lead Oxford 1-0 on New Year's Day.
Well, they've won possession and then badly given it back to Town, sort of only about 30 yards from goals, and that sort of was another signal of problems for Oxford. And then they gave Philogene far too long to sort of come in on his right foot. You know, if you have been told to stop him from doing that, you have to stop him, and there's no question about it. Very poor play. Great goal by Philogene, though.
Yeah, it was. Just fancy him to do that when he gets the ball on his right foot. Yeah, 9-1 ahead of Jack Clark. It's an intriguing battle between those two to be the Golden Boot winner at the end of the season. It's going to take some effort from somebody in the second half. I guess Hurst's in with a shout when he returns. Undoubtedly he's on 6. He could get figures like that, but beyond that, at the moment it's a 2-horse race between those two. 2 wide players tending to score their goals from down the left-hand side as well, the pair of them. But it's good that Ipswich Town have got the breakthrough. We're not sitting here 0-0 against the stubborn Oxford United after 80-odd minutes, fearing that Town might drop points. They've got that foothold in this game as Hellick goes square to Brown at the back. Of course, Town will sense blood, they'll want more than just the one. Here is De Keersmaker up to halfway, making a run on the other side of the field as Curry. De Keersmaker spotted him. It's a terrific ball, almost well done by Furlong, getting back and then passing it up to Nunez. Excellent defending from the fullback, turning defence into attack. Now it's with Kayuste standing on the ball in the centre, gives it short to Kipre along the deck, finding Leif Davis, the goal scorer. Philogene on the ball. All 9 of his goals have come here at Portman Road. Jayden Philogene now with O'Shea in the centre of Portman Road, gives it short to Kayuste, forward to Matusiwa. Haven't seen a great deal of Matusiwa so far in this game. He hasn't had to do a great deal against any threat from Oxford. That might change now. Oxford get the ball forward so far, but between Kayuste and Philogene they win it back. Philogene runs into traffic, taken away from by the Bulgarian Krastev, who scored Oxford's winner against Norwich. Town quickly get the ball back. They're too good for Oxford. Here is Matusiwa, who's stepped into the Oxford half to have a bit more involvement in this game. Gives it to Kayuste, gets it back. Matusiwa helps it on its way to Furlong. Furlong trying to get it between the lines up to Nunez, broken up by Goodrum. Goodrum's tricked by Eggley. Simple decision for the referee, that one. Free kick.
Yeah, I just felt he got a sympathy vote, really. But you know, you said it. We're just too good for Oxford, and that is exactly how it looks at the moment. You know, we are just dominating the play. The play is pretty much from where our back four is at the moment, about 15 yards inside our own half to the edge of the Oxford penalty area, and all the play is pretty much in that area, and it's just a question of time when we create a chance to have a shot.
O'Shea dealing with Lancashire very easily. Oxford have got a man down. I think it's Goodrum's gone back down from that initial contact of a few moments ago. Craig Short turns and looks at his bench. Goodrum's on all fours as the two physios come on to deal with him. We had 21 minutes and Town lead 1-0 here.
Yeah, this is going to be a difficult match, or difficult afternoon for Oxford, you know, to sort of go from where we are at the moment with 70 minutes still to play. You're 1-0 down, you're seeing very little of the ball. Tough afternoon for them.
It's an opportunity for Chuba Akpom this afternoon, isn't it? Be nice to get a good game from him. In the world of good, Mick, wouldn't it?
Well, without question, and doing the world of good really means a couple of goals, doesn't it? You know, nothing else. You know, we're not really interested in seeing any clever play from him. We're just interested in seeing whether he can score goals from that number 9 position, you know. So that's the test for him without question, you know. And you know, when you look around the rest of the team, you know, there's not so many sort of get chances, people taking a chance on the afternoon, because everybody else is pretty much, you know, proven what they can do, you know, and it's just Akpom really has not really been given long in the number 9 shirt, and this is his chance, you know, and he's got to hit the back of the net.
This is going to be a chance for Siriki Dembele by the looks of things. That's it for Tyler Goodrum. Poor lad, his game's only lasted 22 minutes, and it is Dembele, former Peterborough and Bournemouth player, who's about to come on for the visitors. This afternoon's other games, talked about Portsmouth, they're away at Bristol City today. Graham was mentioned that Coventry were ahead at Charlton. Derby against Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough's form's dropped off recently, as has Stoke. Stoke are at Hull. Hull starting the day level on points with Ipswich Town. Preston, Sheffield Wednesday. Norwich are at QPR. Southampton host Millwall. Swansea against West Brom. Watford, who've had sneaked into the top 6 ahead of kick-off quite quietly. Watford, they're at home to Birmingham. And then the tea time game is at Sheffield United against Leicester. Play back underway here into the second half of this first half. 23 minutes on the clock. Dembele has gone down the left-hand side of that 3-4 Oxford. Krastev playing in behind Lancashire. Just joining us, Town ahead. Philogene has carried on in 2026 as he ended 2025. On the halfway line, Kayuste finding Nunez to the right, and Egley forward come Ipswich Town looking threatening. Egley with a ball beyond the far post towards Davis. Davis touches it back. Philogene, that was a great chance to make it 2-0, and he knows it. It's gone over the top.
Yeah, it was a terrific move, mainly down the right hand side. Then the cross goes in, and Leif Davis is on the back post completely free. You wondered whether he was going to finish, but he lays a beautiful ball off to Philogene. Perhaps Philogene is not so good with the instep as he is with the side of the foot.
He's still applauding Davis.
It was a snatch. Great play.
Really good football. Davis, of course, scored that terrific volleyed goal from the corner when these two sides met in Oxfordshire. As Cumming clears the ball forward for Oxford. Lancashire chucks O'Shea to the deck. Free kick for Ipswich Town, who ahead of this game had only been outscored by Coventry in the division, and Coventry the only team with better goal difference as well. Kayuste ruling things in midfield, finds Philogene far side. Good refereeing to play the advantage. Kayuste was having the shirt dragged off of him by Poheta. Kipre to O'Shea in the centre circle. Town 1-0 up. O'Shea along the floor finding Egley. Egley trying to find Furlong. In steps Dembele, who played alongside Leif Davis at Bournemouth a few years ago. Siriki Dembele. Furlong throws the ball back to O'Shea. Greg Lee, one of the substitutes warming up for Oxford. Important part of Ipswich Town's promotion squad from League One a few seasons ago. Too many out there he'll recognise from those days in terms of his former teammates. One of them, Christian Walton's just given the ball to Kipre. Now O'Shea finds Furlong over the top down the right hand side. Nunez is after it. The bounce favours Brown behind him. On tiptoes he heads the ball away, and then Curry fully clears it. De Keersmacher plays it onto the chest of Matthew Siwa, who knocks it back to the halfway line, and Kipre. Davis is making a run. Kipre along the deck finds the fullback. Back in for Greaves this afternoon. Davis. Matthew Siwa between a couple of yellow shirts finds O'Shea on halfway. O'Shea gets the ball out from under his feet and finds Kipre to Kiyuste. Kiyuste gives the ball to Philogene, the goal scorer. Back it goes to Kipre, who drives infield, still has it, and goes through the middle towards Nunez. Nunez, a little backheader looking for Egley. It's clever from Nunez. Couldn't control it himself. It was initially a very good ball from Kipre. Furlong gets the better of Dembele. The two of them tangle, and then Furlong almost goes over the barrier down below us. And then Dembele shapes to throw the ball at some fans, which he was never going to do. He gets a yellow card for that silliness. He was being a bit daft there, Sariki Dembele. Only been on the field 2 minutes. He's got the first yellow card.
Poor old Darnell Furlong. He's not the most popular person with these players. Look, that's unnecessary. He does absolutely nothing wrong, and then the guy just deliberately bundles him into the boardings.
Such a silly thing to do, and then pretend to throw the ball at the fans who are giving him a lot of sticking up for Darnell Furlong, obviously. And he finds himself the first name written in the book. Furlong throws the ball back to O'Shea. Square in midfield, missed Kipre, but no harm done. It reaches Leif Davis. 27 played on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport this New Year's Day. Town ahead, and miles better than Oxford in this first almost half hour. Kiyuste gets the ball, gives it back to O'Shea. O'Shea then finds Matthew Siwa in a bit more space. He turns and brings in the number 32 Nunez. Infield to Kiyuste, now outside the area. Plays it into the box to Philogene. Will want it on his right foot if he can possibly get it. Poeta holds him up. He gives it back to Matthew Siwa. Stabs it to the edge of the box. Nunez, who then finds Furlong. Furlong knocks it square to Kipre. It's almost a training ground exercise this for Ipswich Town this afternoon so far. Philogene to Akpom. Akpom gives it back to Philogene. Philogene's layoff to Kiyuste. Akpom gets involved again with a touch to Akpom. Lifts it off his left boot to the far side, and Davis, everything to his right. Held up play. He passes it to Kiyuste. Kiyuste to Matthew Siwa. Matthew Siwa to Akpom. He flicks it on for Kiyuste. Headed away well by Long. Clever header by Matthew Siwa to the left-hand side. Davis, who puts an early ball in, but without any accuracy, it goes onto the roof of the net.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether he tried to sort of score from that distance, whether he saw the goalkeeper off his line, but it messed the whole thing up, really.
It's 1-0 here to Town, Graham.
Also 1-0 for Preston at home to Sheffield Wednesday. A Town's opponents on Sunday, Portsmouth, trailing 2-0 at Bristol City.
Well, they are in a mess. Portsmouth. Let's hope that carries on Sunday afternoon. Hopefully we'll bump into Ray Crawford at some point when we're at Fratton Park. Mick will be alongside me for commentary of that one. And then I'll have Alan Judge alongside me, sitting here at Portman Road when Town take on Blackpool. We've got a bit of form, dare I say it, in League One at the moment. That's a week on Saturday. Ball over the top from Kipre to Philogene. He'll go after that, but the pitch was well watered beforehand, and that's just helped the ball speed up and go out behind.
It was a lovely timed run by Philogene, and I thought maybe he should have taken it out of the air, but maybe he couldn't quite get there.
16 to go until half-time on BBC Radio Suffolk. Philogene's 9th goal of the season. The difference between these two sides. Cumming passes the ball into midfield, and De Keersmacher. Long preferred to Spencer this afternoon at right back, gets it back to Hellick. And the experienced Volks, bags of championship experience for Will Volks, the likes of Sheffield Wednesday and Cardiff, and also Rotherham. O'Shea with a header, chested down by Dembele, being booed by the home crowd after his altercation with Furlong. He gives it to the left-hand side, and Curry outside the Ipswich area furthest forward Oxford have been for a while. Nice roll back away from Eggerly, and then his cross is deflected out behind. So Oxford win a corner kick after half an hour.
Yeah, that puts them on the board. They had a lot of zeros to their name, about different sort of things that they've won in so far this afternoon, and they obviously hadn't had a corner before this one, so they go on the board. So this is a little chance for them, because they've rarely been anywhere near the town penalty area.
A rare opportunity for Oxford to get on the scoreboard. They've created nothing from open play so far, but after half an hour they have a corner kick. This has to be an opportunity for like Halleck, Brown, Lancashire. In comes the corner kick for Oxford. The back header from Lancashire loops high over the top.
Yeah, and when you look at the team, they haven't sort of progressed their play very much this afternoon. They get a corner kick and they only actually put 5 into the penalty area, and they have 3 players in an arc outside the penalty area, so it's almost as if they don't really fancy their chances in the air to get the first contact.
Well, the corner kick's kind of been so great so far this season, because Halleck, who is such a threat from set pieces, yet to score for them this season. He's got 9 and 7 goals, 16 goals the last 2 seasons, Michal Halleck, but nothing so far this. But if they can get the delivery right, he'll be a threat from those kind of areas. But Town 1-0 ahead in this game and coasting. Here is Kipre. The ball to O'Shea. Been a pair for a fair old while now this season, these two, since Kipre has made himself a fixture in the side at the expense of Jacob Greaves. O'Shea into midfield for Kiyuste, almost cut out. Town get the ball back, but not for long. Volks quickly up to Lancashire. Oxford United have the ball with Poiheta outside the Ipswich area. Lots of blue shirts back. Poiheta's inside the area, and his yellow shirt runs into trouble off Philogin, and Philogin's nudged to the ground. It's a free kick to Ipswich Town, which Walton will be taking for the foul on Philogin.
It was a bit silly, because the last touch had been by Philogin, and the ball was sort of going to go over the byline if he didn't sort of deal with it. So why the player actually knocks him down, I don't know. Yeah. Or did he just fall down?
I thought yeah, that's what I think it was. Looking at the replay,
I've just seen it. It was like
there wasn't much contact, shall we say? I
think it was a little tap on his sort of waistline there.
Here is Matthew Siwa in between the two Ipswich Town centre halves. Town lead 1-0 thanks to this man, Philogin. It's a really good goal from Philogin, but probably doesn't make his short list of 5 best for the season. The standard has been so good from him, but it was a really smart finish. In goes Keersmacher on the former Aston Villa winger. Ball's out far side for a through to Leif Davis.
It's a terrific total, isn't it, for Philogin to play in that wide left position and sort of, just at the turn of the year, you've got 9 goals. It's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Almost a year, of course, since he joined Ipswich Town. He was one of the January arrivals last season. I guess his highlight were the goals at Old Trafford. Difficult first 6 months at the club, but exceptional so far this season. De Keersmacher, clever little back heel to Poiheta. That's taken 2 Ipswich Town players out of the game. Leif Davis isn't back either. Poiheta, edge of the box to Krasnev, into the area for Lancashire. A chance for Lancashire, and it's a goal for Oxford. Would you believe it? It's the player on loan from Tottenham, Will Lancashire, who gets his 6th of the season, totally against the run of play. Somehow Oxford United have levelled. It's Ipswich Town 1, Oxford United 1.
Well, that was like what happened a lot in our Premiership days, where Leif Davis went on a bit of a sortie, players broken down, and then all of a sudden they get the space in that where you would want Leif Davis to be, in actual fact, and all of a sudden they're running only 3 back 4 players, and they recover in Matazua. So there's always going to be a chance of a strike at goal, and they got it from a little bit of intricate play. It was clever play, and it was a good finish in the end. But that's where it came from. Leif Davis vacating the left back position, the opposition exploiting it, and then lack of numbers at the back.
We talked early on in the commentary about the possibility of Lancashire maybe getting a few goals here in the second half of the season if he joined on loan. I wasn't talking about him scoring here this afternoon, but he's done that. Got away from O'Shea for once, and it was a fine finish across Walton into the far corner. So back to where we were somehow. Crazily, Oxford have got themselves back into this game. Just goes to show. Cleared forward, O'Shea with a header, controlled by Dembele. Forward it goes towards Lancashire, well blocked off by Furlong. Actually had time in Arsenal's academy and also Sheffield United's early on in his career, Lancashire, before he went to Tottenham, for whom he scored last season in Europe against Galatasaray. He was also sent off in the same game. That's why he kind of came to prominence. But when we were at the Kassam Stadium a few weeks ago, people were saying he was having a really good season for Oxford, and 6 goals in this team. It's exactly a quarter of their entire tally this season. Matusiwa to Kiyuste. At the back, O'Shea. Furlong in front of Kieran McKenna, down below us. O'Shea has the ball again. Final 10 minutes of this first half. Ipswich Town 1, Oxford United 1 now. O'Shea again takes the ball into the centre circle, passes it up towards Akpom. Akpom stretches, difficult one for him to deal with, and he couldn't. Brown is caught late, now holding his left knee. Akpom just a little bit late to the challenge on Brown, who was taken out by Eggerly early on in this game.
Yeah, you just really expect Akpom. He's got good control, and that ball from O'Shea is a good ball. It's not too hard. It's smack bang on target, and he should really, if he's going to be a number 9, he's got to be able to deal with that.
Free kick to Oxford, bang in the centre of their half. 9 to go until half-time. The noise at the moment coming from the Oxford fans, who haven't taken up their full allocation. Some empty seats in that right-hand upper third of the cobbled stand as we look across there. Dembele back to Volks on the halfway line, square infield to De Keersmaker. He'll then keep the ball rolling in the same direction to Long. Poeta, who started that move that led to the goal. Poeta coming in field is a lively character. Krastev inside the Ipswich Town area, jinks away from Kipre. Still Krastev pulls it back. Now a chance for Curry to strike. He got right underneath that one and it flew over the top of the crossbar, but another chance for Oxford.
Yeah, decent play. I thought they were going to try and set something up inside the penalty area, but then, you know, they've set something up just outside, and you can always hit the target from there. I mean, Christian Walton took off as if it was going to be a very effective shot, but it went actually miles over the crossbar.
7.5 minutes to go. You're not singing anymore, chant the Oxford fans. Matusiwa along the floor to Kipre. Town have just got to go again. Philogene, a chance, maybe ruining that opportunity that he missed to make it 2-0. He'll surely get other chances though as this game progresses. Eggerly infield to Philogene, back to Eggerly with a 1-2. In goes Curry and wins it for Oxford. Of course, will be buoyed by that equaliser. Krastev, the number 50, who's come into the game latterly. It's just a turn flick that got the ball through to Lancashire. Terrible pass from Brown, caught Curry flat-footed, straight to Kieran McKenna, who puts it into the hands of Furlong for this throw. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk, 1-1. Nunez with a touchdown, short, given away. Volks tries to poke it forward for Lancashire. O'Shea gets there first. De Keersmaker brings it down for Krastev on the centre spot. Krastev tries to take on Nunez, beats Nunez with a spin. Got a little bit lucky through a gap. He finds Curry on this left-hand side. Eggerly closes him down. Curry goes back to Volks, who almost lost the ball to Nunez. Couldn't quite get it under control under pressure from Nunez. Nunez wants to take the throw-in for Ipswich Town and does. Back to Darnell Furlong. O'Shea, again the captain in possession, just crossing halfway for Ipswich Town, stands on the ball, draws in Lancashire, gives it to Kipre. Kipre plays it off of Philogene. Philogene gets it back. He's briefly behind Kipre on the far side. That's the Ipswich left for these final 6 minutes of the half. Town playing from left to right in blue, white, blue. Stroking the ball across the pitch. Now it's just inside the Oxford half of the field with Furlong. Back the ball goes to Dara O'Shea. Furlong again underneath us. Sindrawalla Eggerly up to Nunez. Back to Furlong. Good overlapping run from Furlong inside the Oxford box. He looks up. He tries to play it square. But come to Akpom. It does! And Chuba Akpom gets his first Portman Road goal for Ipswich Town and re-establishes their 1-goal advantage. Final 5.5 minutes of this first half, and thanks to Chuba Akpom's second goal in Town colours, Town lead Oxford 2-1.
Yeah, Oxford were sucked in towards the ball down this left-hand side. They shouldn't have been sucked in because nothing really was happening. And in the end, they vacated that left-back position for Darnell Furlong to go into. They shouldn't really have done that. And then once he set off, he had loads and loads of time. But the ball had to be right because there wasn't an awful lot of space for Akpom to steer it in. But in the end, he does steer it in, and it's a good one for him because we said before, this is what the afternoon is all about for Akpom. It's actually putting the ball in the back of the net, and he's already done it before half-time.
Yeah, nice little finish from him, looking back. That's a really popular goal as well. You can see that what that meant to him and his teammates. His previous one was at Hull for Ipswich Town. Nice for him to get off the mark in terms of home goals in the opening one of the new year. Left-footed forward by Brown. So Town have reacted really well to that rare attack, which was successful for Oxford in terms of them getting an equaliser, almost given away by Kipre. Kayuste is caught from behind on halfway by Keersmaker, who sportingly picks up the Ipswich Town midfielder. So Town back in front. Free kick just inside the Oxford half to Jens Kayuste. Gives it back to Kipre. Matthew Siwa to Furlong with an assist to his name. Egley, poor touch. Town get the ball back. Matthew Siwa down the line onto the chest of Sindrawalla Egley. Infield to Nunez. Nice control from him outside the area. Goes to Kayuste and the D turns. Gives it to Nunez. Nunez forward to Kayuste. What a goal this would be! Kayuste can't get enough power on the shot after Nunez had just dinked it over the Oxford back line. It was hit from Kayuste into the arms of Cumming, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, clever play by Egley, Nunez and Kayuste.
Nunez takes the ball on his thigh and has a go. Saved by Cumming off to his right-hand side. He struck that from 30 yards, the Chilean. Town sensing blood as we head towards half-time.
Yeah, it'd be good if we could get another one before half-time because that would sort of be a reward for dominating the play, really.
If I'm just going to hit this one, it was certainly on target. It was swinging in. He had options right and left, but worth a dig from Nunez, another player who is looking for his first home goal this afternoon. A couple at QPR, also scored at Hull like Akpom. Wouldn't bet against it being this afternoon for the former Norwich player. Mr. Finney, the referee, just having to sort something out inside the 6-yard box off to our right. Out of Ipswich Town's second corner kick of the game. First one for over in that far left corner. Nunez on a corner kick for Ipswich Town in the final 2.5 minutes of this first half to the near post. It was Akpom trying to get a flick on, but just flicked it behind.
Yeah, I always think that if the first shirt that you see is your colour, the blue shirt, then hit that man in the front there, because any little flick on could be good, because there'd be a whole host of players behind you that can attack your flick on. On that occasion, we've diverted the ball behind the goal, which is the wrong part. The corner's okay, but there's got to be a little flick on for a ruck of players to come and attack the flick on.
Well, it would have been an absolute dream scoreline for Oxford, 1-1 at half-time. Thankfully, that's not the case, though. Ipswich Town have regained the lead that they so deservedly had earlier on in the half. Somehow Oxford managed to get themselves level after. I say somehow, it's a good move down the right-hand side. Nicely finished by Lancashire, but Town by far the better team, and they're ahead again. The ball breaks nicely to Philogene on halfway. Town fancy a third goal before half-time. He gives it to Davis. Can Davis get there at a long? Not quite. Long made the most of his head start, went to ground. The ball's out for a throw to Town in front of the Oxford fans outside their team's penalty box.
Yeah, it was a driving run from Leith Davis, but you know, the right back just made the most, as you say, of the head start he had.
Davis with this throw in, final minute of the first 45. Won't be a great deal of time added on, a little bit for the substitution, I guess. Davis to Matasiwa. Matasiwa back to Davis. Now Philogene looks up, pulls the ball back to O'Shea. Home fans would certainly love a third goal before half-time. Egley down this near side, the right, teasing Dembele, gives it back to Matasiwa. Krastev's after him. Matasiwa bends the ball back to Walton inside his penalty area. A simple pass as Kipre. That's exactly who Walton has found. Kipre up towards the halfway line. Ball between the lines to Philogene. Quickly opening his legs, running forward, having a go, and just pulling this one wide of Cummings' right post.
Yeah, Leif Davis he's gone off. You know, he's made that usual run down the left touch line, and it's Philogene's been able to come inside. He had a lot of time on the ball, and in the end he's tried to drive that one as opposed to bend it. So he's hit it wide of the goalkeeper's right-hand post. But it's a good move. It's created a good shooting opportunity, so that's all that matters.
3 minutes of added on time at the end of this first half, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Town lead Oxford at 2-1. That was the scoreline by which Oxford beat Ipswich back in November. Cummings' kick is just kept in on the far side by Long, and then the ball's out of play off of Kayuste. Throw to Oxford. It's going to be taken by Sam Long on the far side. Came through the ranks at Oxford United, former centre-half, now right back. Eggerly up to Akpom, who can't control the ball. De Keersmacher brings it forward. Poeta now has it for Oxford. Forced to go back after some good terrier-like work in midfield from Ipswich Town. Oxford had to go back to the halfway line. Dembele runs in field, held up by Nunez, picks out a pass to Long. Backpedaling just inside his own half is Helik. One of two Polish players in this Oxford team. Brown to Krastev. Good challenge from Matusiwa. Eggerly gets up to Nunez, who tries to turn it in field, knowing that the Norwegian was running on beyond him. O'Shea wins his header before Lancashire. De Keersmacher takes the ball in his chest. Gets it back to Helik. Oxford have it at centre-half at the midway point of this added on 3 minutes. De Keersmacher looking to utilise the pace of Poeta. Davis went with him, but there's too much on the ball anyway. It's back with Walton.
Yeah, good play by Leif Davis. He's sussed out the pace of the ball and what's around him, and quite rightly leaves it alone.
Kipre square across the edge of his penalty area to Dara O'Shea. O'Shea goes back to Kipre. Final minute of the added on 3 at the end of this first half on BBC Radio Suffolk. The Town aren't going to keep 3 successive clean sheets, but at the moment they do lead Oxford by 2-1. Kipre on the ball, nobody really closing him down, so he's held on to it as long as he possibly could before finally giving it to Matusiwa. O'Shea over the top. That looks a good ball for Philogene if he can get in there. Long just did enough. He just stretched out his right leg and his big toe to get the ball out behind for a corner to Town.
Yep, he had to defend it. In the end, he didn't particularly want to. He didn't think he was going to have to, but he had to in the end, and otherwise Philogene was into a good position.
Well, 3-1 wouldn't flatter Ipswich Town if they can score from this final corner kick at the end of the first half. They lead Oxford 2-1, but by far the better side in these now 48 minutes that we've watched. Nunez over in the far right corner by the big screen with this corner kick. Into the mix it goes towards Kipre, heads it into the air at centre, looking for a colleague. It might have gone to Philogene if an Oxford player hadn't been in the way. That's the last piece of action in this first half as Town head down the tunnel with a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, and really sort of right from the start of the half, you know, you just felt that there was only going to be sort of, you know, one team that first of all would dominate the game, and straight away you were talking about, you know, 75% possession from Town. Actually, at times I thought it would be even more than that, but that's where it was at, and it stayed that way, you know, for a long time. And we got ourselves in front. A typical sort of Philogene goal, really. You know, he's had a super season so far, you know, coming in off that left-hand side and scoring. And that's why Jack Clark finds it so difficult to come into the team, because he continues to do it. And, you know, it's difficult, you know, for Jack. But Philogene takes his chance, and then you thought that we would go on, and then all of a sudden Oxford had their little moment, and they got themselves an equaliser, and then, you know, they started to get a few sort of mentions on the board. You know, there was a couple of corners they got, there was shots that they had, there was a goal that they got, and there was the possession started to come down from 75 to 70, and it was like a little glimmer of hope for Oxford, but it didn't last very long, and then Town took the lead. 2-1. Starting to dominate the play, starting to make inroads, starting to create chances again. And as the half went towards half-time, you thought, it's more likely that Town would go in at 3-1 rather than 2-2 or something daft like that. So 2-1 at half-time, totally and utterly in charge of the game. I'd be very, very surprised if we don't see more goals. And Akpom has got himself a goal as well. So everything's working in favour of Kieran at the moment.
Yeah, undoubtedly things looking good for Ipswich Town and Kieran McKenna, thanks to goals in that first half from Jaden Philogene and then Chuba Akpom to lead Oxford by 2-1.
It's a full programme of fixtures in the Championship today. One is complete, a 2-0 win for Wrexham away at Blackburn Rovers. Goals in the lunchtime kick-off from Sam Smith and Ollie Rathbone. 10 3:00 kick-offs, including our main feature from Portman Road. The leaders Coventry are 1-0 up away at Charlton. Ellis Sims with an early goal in that one. Derby 0, second in the table. Middlesbrough 0, so in the live table. Ipswich Town up to second. Watford up to fourth in the live table. They're going well of late, and they're 2-0 up this afternoon at home to Birmingham City. Both goals from Tom Ince. Hull 0, Stoke 1 at half-time. Southampton and Millwall are goalless. Ali McCann has given Preston a first-half lead in their match with Sheffield Wednesday. Bristol City, I mentioned earlier, 2 up at home to Portsmouth, who Ipswich Town play on Sunday. The Bristol City goal scorers Adam Randell and Anis Mehmeti. Norwich are goalless away at QPR. It's Swansea 0, West Brom 0 at the Liberty Stadium. The 5:30 kick-off in the Championship this evening sees Sheffield United at home to Leicester. A couple of 5:30 kick-offs in the Premier League tonight and 2 matches that get underway at 8. We'll look ahead to those in a moment.
Wayne Bavin at breakfast.
It's been a fabulous year on the Wayne Bavin Breakfast Show. We learnt some stuff together.
400,000 years ago, the Neanderthals were beginning their evolution. So we think those fires at Barnum were being made by early Neanderthals.
We even cried together too.
The police think that they broke in looking for jewellery and then got lucky finding Mabel and her puppies. They were 5 weeks when they were taken.
But there was lots of laughter. I'm not surprised he likes to watch Scrooge.
Yeah.
We look forward to seeing you again in the new year for Suffolk's brightest breakfast.
Wayne Bavin at breakfast. Weekdays from 6. Just ask your smart speaker to play BBC Radio Suffolk.
Yes, Wayne back in the morning. We'll be back with Mick Mills and Brenna Woolley at Portman Road very shortly for the second half of Ipswich Town versus Oxford United, our first full match commentary of the new year, with Town 2-1 up at half-time. The goal scorers for Kieran McKenna's side, Jaden Philogene and Chuba Akpom. 4 games in the Premier League today, with 2 kicking off at 5:30. Liverpool host Leeds United in one of those, with Arne Slot's side looking to continue their good run of form. The Reds have won their last 3 league games since their 3-3 draw at Elland Road last month, and Slot says he's impressed with how the squad is coping with injuries.
If you look at our bench, you didn't saw any player that is a midfielder that has played more than 10 minutes in the Premier League so far. That's why I'm so pleased with our current results, because if we would have dropped points, people would have probably talked about the fact how many players we miss. But we don't drop points, so that's why no one is talking about the players we miss. Maybe because they only talk about how much we spent.
Leeds United manager Daniel Farke, meanwhile, says he's looking forward to going to Anfield this evening. Leeds unbeaten in their last 5 matches, with crucial wins at home to Chelsea and Crystal Palace helping them move 6 points clear of the relegation zone. Farke says Liverpool have improved since the 3-3 draw between the 2 teams at Elland Road.
Liverpool, especially in recent weeks, had some really, really good results, also back more or less in the top positions in the league, which is more or less one of the most challenging and difficult tasks that you can have. But we wanted to have these games. We want to play back on the top level. We have it right now, and we have challenges, and we're looking forward to have this game, yes.
Daniel Farke and Arne Slot ahead of Liverpool v Leeds. The other 5:30 kick-off sees Crystal Palace at home to Fulham. From 8 o'clock, Manchester City are at Sunderland. City will cut the gap to leaders Arsenal to 2 points with a win. Sunderland would move up to 5th if they can win that one. Also at 8, Tottenham manager Thomas Frank will be back at Brentford for the first time since leaving the club in the summer. Frank spent 7 years in charge of the Bees, guiding the club from the Championship to the Premier League in 2021. He says he's looking forward to seeing some familiar faces.
I think that football is such a special industry in many ways. So for players or managers, you can be there for many, many years, and then suddenly you are sold or sacked or can stop whatever, but you'd never really get the opportunity the next day to come in and say goodbye. But of course, the relationship you created with people, that of course still have friendship there. I will have that forever.
Headline news from the Premier League today. Enzo Maresca has left his role as Chelsea manager, with the club fifth in the table. The 45-year-old Italian departs less than 6 months after winning the Club World Cup at the end of his first season at Stamford Bridge. The Blues have won just one of their past 7 league matches and took only 6 points from 6 games in December to fall 15 points behind leaders Arsenal. Maresca stunned even members of his own staff when, after beating Everton 2-0 for Chelsea's solitary Premier League win in December, he made it very clear of a breakdown with the club hierarchy.
The effort, the open mind, the way they want to learn has been fantastic, and this is the reason why I praise the player, because with so many problems they are doing very well after a complicated week. Since I joined the club, the last 48 hours has been the worst 48 hours since I joined the club, because many people didn't support us. So very happy for Malo in that moment, that the effort from Malo, from the rest, show that they are all there and they want to help this club.
What do you mean in terms of the not people supporting you in the last 48 hours?
Worst 48 hours since I joined the club, because people didn't support me and the team.
People internally?
In general.
Do you mean fans or media?
I love the fans and we are very happy with the fans.
Enzo Maresca speaking last month, and now no longer Chelsea manager. John Wilkinson asked the BBC's Chelsea reporter Nizar Kinsella how Maresca's relationship with the club owners had deteriorated recently.
Yeah, I think that the relationship is the key point, and those comments you just played out, I think that it was the real turning point in the perception that all was well at Chelsea, and it's amazing how it's unravelled in the last month over December, and sort of that relationship has unravelled, because certainly he was a success, wasn't he, when he first joined Chelsea, the first year, Club World Cup win, Conference League win, Champions League qualification, but there was things like, influence over team selections. He felt under pressure to pick certain players or rotate heavily, or we even saw Cole Palmer reacting negatively to being substituted. So was that the medical department putting pressure on him to make changes to not get injuries? There was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that on his side he wasn't happy about, and I think that also Chelsea probably decided they need a change of direction as well.
And so where does this leave Chelsea in terms of the competitions that they're in?
Well, Chelsea is still in quite a good place, so it's even stranger that they've changed manager. I mean, they're fifth in the league, but they're well within their sort of target to try and qualify for the Champions League, and they're in all 4 competitions as well, the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, the Champions League and the FA Cup. So, yeah, whoever comes in has got a lot of work to do, and it's an extremely busy January to come.
And who might that be? Has there been any early talk of who might replace Maresca at Chelsea?
Yeah, it's still early. They certainly have a few names, but I think the one to watch is probably Liam Rossigna. He's manager of Strasbourg, and they're very much part of Chelsea's project, because they're in that multi-club model, and he could just jump across and become Chelsea's manager. So that would be an interesting appointment.
Nizar Kinsella with John Wilkinson. The former Chelsea winger Pat Nevin's been talking about Enzo Maresca's departure from Stamford Bridge today as well. We'll hear from him later in the programme. With you through until 6 o'clock with Match Day this New Year's Day. The second half of our main feature from Portman Road is coming up next.
Kayuste, lovely running in midfield, great balance and technique, strength as well. Nunez into the box for Akpom, who goes down, might get a second bite at it. Nunez in the area. Nunez turns edge of the box, gives it to Egli, who tries to pick his spot. Probably should have done better off his stronger left foot. Nunez round the corner to Akpom, then Egli to Davis touches it to Philogene. What a goal this would be. The effort from Philogene blocked off, comes back to Kayuste just inside the area. A little back heel to Philogene in the box. Town have to rebuild. Davis into the area just behind Kayuste, brought away by Krasta. One back by Kayuste. Philogene thought about having a go, a little step over inside the area, wants it on his right foot, eventually gets it on his right foot, and the end product was inevitable. It's another terrific goal from Jayden Philogene. This one low, bent into the corner of the net. He moves to 9 for the season, and Town lead Oxford 1-0 on New Year's Day. Kayuste finding Nunez to the right, and Egley forward come Ipswich Town looking threatening. Egley with the ball beyond the far post towards Davis touches it back, Philogene, that was a great chance to make it 2-0 and he knows it. It's gone over the top. De Keersmaker, clever little back heel to Poeta. That's taken 2 Ipswich Town players out of the game. Leif Davis isn't back either. Poeta, edge of the box to Krasdev, into the area for Lancashire. A chance for Lancashire, and it's a goal for Oxford. Would you believe it? It's the player on loan from Tottenham, Will Lancashire, who gets his 6th of the season, totally against the run of play. Somehow, Oxford United have levelled. It's Ipswich Town 1, Oxford United 1. Krastev inside the Ipswich Town area, jinks away from Kipre, still Krastev pulls it back, now a chance for Curry to strike. He got right underneath that one and it flew over the top of the crossbar, but another chance for Oxford. Sindra Waller-Egley up to Nunez, back to Furlong, good overlapping run from Furlong inside the Oxford box. He looks up, he tries to play it square, but come to Akpom, it does! And Chuba Akpom gets his first Portman Road goal for Ipswich Town and re-establishes their 1-goal advantage. Final 5.5 minutes of this first half, and thanks to Chuba Akpom's second goal in Town colours, Town lead Oxford 2-1. Sindra Waller-Egley, infield to Nunez, nice control from him outside the area, goes to Kayuste in the D, turns, gives it to Nunez forward to Kayuste. What a goal this would be! Kayuste can't get enough power on the shot after Nunez, it just dinked it over the Oxford back line. It was hit from Kayuste into the arms of Cumming, the goalkeeper.
Tonight,
you cannot trust anyone.
That's a bombshell. I don't know how that's going to play out.
Happy New Traitors.
This is twisted.
I have both the Jekyll and the Hyde personalities.
My heart is absolutely coming out of my chest.
Let me go to the dark side.
The new series of The Traitors starts tonight at 8 on BBC One and iPlayer.
Remember, you can have your say at full time after Town versus Oxford in match day. 0800 141 2121 is the number to speak to former Town captain Mick Mills on. No non-league action of note locally today, but a reminder, plenty more derby matches this weekend, notably Needham versus AFC Sudbury and Bury Town versus Leiston in the Southern Premier League. We'll be present at both of those during Saturday's Total Sport programme with Ollie Ward on BBC Radio Suffolk from 2. Also on Saturday, it's Felixstowe Walter United versus Galston, Mildenhall v Newmarket, Wroxham v Lowestoft, Concord v Brantham in the Isthmian North Division. A full programme of fixtures scheduled in the Thurlow Non-League as well, while a few of the Suffolk teams at Step 7 of the Non-League Pyramid will be back in Morrison Freight Cup action. Right, let's get back to Portman Road ahead of the second half. Ipswich Town leading Oxford United by 2-1.
Town likely to line up like this. No changes in the first half, incidentally. 4 since the game against Coventry on Monday. Walton will be in the goal off to our right. His back four, Furlong, O'Shea the captain, Kipre and Davis. Then you've got Matthew Seawer alongside Kayuste. A 3 of Egley, Nunez and the goal scorer Philogene behind another goal scorer, Akpom. On the bench, Palmer, Jack Clark, Taylor, Athon, Greaves, Young, Burns, McAteer and Johnson. Town in blue, white, blue, as I say, playing from right to left, up against the yellow shirts with the navy sleeves, navy shorts and yellow socks of Oxford. They've got Cumming in the goal off to our left in front of the North Stand. They're back for Long, Hellick, Brown and Curry. Volks alongside Kersmacher in midfield, and the 3 Poeta, Krastev and now Dembele, who came on for Goodrum in that first half. Their goal scorer is Will Lancashire up top. On the bench, Ingram, Mark Harris and Luke Harris, Romney, Spencer Mills, Bradshaw and Lee. Dembele, their substitute, who came on, has got the only yellow card of the game so far. So Town leading 2-1 as we get ourselves ready to get back underway. Town on a little run at the moment of 3 in 4 league games here. A little bit of a turnaround from what we had in recent times. A lot of time on the road after we were away at Portsmouth at the weekend. Blackpool at home, that's in the Cup obviously. Then Blackburn and Bristol City. Blackburn lunchtime kick-off, Bristol City midweek, both on the horizon on this pitch. So hopefully opportunities ahead for Ipswich Town, because Portsmouth struggling and so too Blackburn. Play back underway. It's all about though this next 45 minutes plus in terms of seeing off Oxford, with hopefully an extra couple of goals from Ipswich Town in this second period. Certainly look like they've got it in them to extend this 2-1 advantage. I'd have played for an early throw to Oxford on this near side from Long. Town win it up towards Akpom. He finds Egley. Egley is robbed by Curry. Curry gets the ball out to Dembele, far side. Furlong just keeping an eye on him as he runs back. He allows Dembele to come forward 20 yards or so. Then Egley holds up Dembele. Ball back inside the Oxford half with Hellick. I thought overall Craig Short would have been too disappointed by trailing 2-1 at half-time. Weren't level at 1-1 for all that long before Akpom got Town back in front. Mills actually has come on as a substitute at half-time down this right-hand side for Poeta by the looks of things. It was the change they made the other way around when we were at the Kassam Stadium. Mills on loan from Everton. Poeta fairly quiet in that first half, so one alteration from Oxford's perspective. There is Brown on the far side for them. Back the ball goes to the keeper Cumming. Now out to Brown in front of the cobbled stand. He goes long up towards Lancashire, trying to get the better of O'Shea, which is easier said than done. Furlong drills a half-volleyed pass up towards Nunez. Nunez does well to get it back to Matusiwa. Kayuste rides the challenge of De Keersmaker in midfield. Now Leif Davis up towards Akpom. Akpom's touch a bit heavy, but then he leaps into a challenge and actually fouled the Oxford player. Mills believes the referee should have played the advantage because he was running away with the ball.
Yeah, I do as well. You know, it's a decent advantage. He's got a free ball. He's running at the Town back four. Not an awful lot of support, but you know, he obviously felt that he could do something.
Yeah, strange decision that from the referee. I think that's clearly Craig Short's point with the fourth official. He definitely had a point. Brown down the left-hand side, way too much on that awful pass. Nowhere near Curry. That was a real howler from him. Walton allows Dara O'Shea to take the goal kick short to the keeper himself. Here is Kipre. Back the ball goes to Walton inside his 18-yard area. Without winning the last 5 away, Oxford heading into this game just 2 points as well from the last 15 available. No clean sheet in 15 for them now. It's going to be a hard final, 21 games of the season for them. Throw in from Furlong finds O'Shea at the back for Ipswich Town. O'Shea into midfield and Matusiwa. A great deal to report on the early exchanges of this first half. Miscontrol from Nunez. Keersmaker takes it on his chest. Lancashire with a little head down. Matusiwa does really well to turn and hold on to the ball and then release Nunez. Nunez gives it to Kayuste. Kayuste to the left-hand side of Philogene. Philogene will keep the ball in outside the Oxford area. A couple of step-overs from him. Gets support from Davis. Davis first time with the cross towards a penalty spot. Excellent ball in. Akpom went for it, but so too a defender who got the better of him. Volks hooks it out of his area, only as far as Matusiwa, who brings it down and gives it to Nunez. Nunez's control isn't the best, but he somehow finds Akpom in the end. Oxford, they'll get the ball away with Dembele, held up by Matusiwa. Dembele's forced to go back.
It's a confident player, isn't he, Dembele?
Yeah. Decent footballer, lively. Now the Oxford are forced to go back to centre half and Brown. Kieran McKenna's thoughts will be on air before 6 o'clock on match day. Yours very welcome as well. Phone number 0800 141 2121 if you want to chat to Mick and Graham, or text 81333. Start those messages. SFK WhatsApps, they go to 08000 321 333. Again, put SFK at the start of those. Brown to Volks. Back with Hellick. Town at half-time, up to second place in the live table. Getting a better result than Middlesbrough. And the far superior goal difference as well. O'Shea. Into midfield Kayuste. Kayuste just pops it back to Dara O'Shea. Kipre. Over the top for Davis, who'd made a really good run, well spotted by Kipre. Mills goes back to defend and then hooks it off the edge of his area. Did well to go with the run of Davis. It was a good move from Town. Krastev, infield to Volks. Volks knocks it long. Lancashire trying to get the better of O'Shea, running into the area. A real chance for De Keersmaker. Oh, he should have scored for Oxford. He got his connection off the outside of his right boot. Terribly wrong, but what a chance for them to make it 2-2.
Yeah, I was thinking when they were sort of playing short stuff over the far side, Oxford, why they don't just minimise 3 short passes, then go long and let this centre forward just sort of chase stuff. I think that would be their best ploy. And on that occasion, the ball goes up. I just felt when Dara O'Shea was going to let the ball hit the ground, there might just be a mistake there, and there was. 2 players in the end against 1. An unbelievable chance. It could be classed as the best chance of the game.
Well, let's hope that's given Ipswich Town a bit of kick up the backside, because so easily Oxford could have got themselves into this game again for a second time. O'Shea going over the top for Ipswich Town. Akpom chases after it, but Brown wins the header. Only as far as Nunez. Nunez with a volleyed pass high into the chest of Philogene, which is taken really well, wide left outside the Oxford area. Philogene still has the ball, then he gives it to Davis. Davis back to Philogene. Now Davis, infield to Kiyuste, turns, knocks it deep. That was a nothing ball from Kiyuste, wasted as he tried to cross it towards Akpom.
Yeah, not a good ball. I think that he was trying something that, improvise, be clever, expect somebody to be in a position. Well, sometimes you can't expect people to be there. You just have to know they're there.
6.5 gone in the second half, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Town 2-1 ahead, but had a real let-off a few moments ago. There is Cedric Kipre for Ipswich Town. Goes square to O'Shea. Still life in this game, still hope in it for Oxford United to surprise most people and get something from this match. Lancashire closes down O'Shea. It's a handful Lancashire to deal with for O'Shea. Tall lad. Philogene and Davis link up beautifully. Nice little flick and field from Philogene. Davis then finds Kiyuste. Matusiwa in midfield. Threads it forward to Nunez. This is really good play from Ipswich Town. Egerly on the right hand side, taking on his full back. Curry gets inside the box of the dead ball line. Tries to cross right footed. It comes off Curry. Town win the first corner of the second half.
Yeah, very good 2-touch play going from left to right, and then in the end we get Egerly with the ball on the right hand side. It was nice and sharp. The control was good, the passing was quick and precise, and we got from one side of the pitch to the other very, very quickly.
It's only 15 years since Oxford got themselves back into the Football League. They had 3 years out from 2006, or 4 years out, sorry, from 2006 till 2010. That's 6 seasons in League 2 and 8 in League 1 before these last 2 back in the second tier. Corner kick to Ipswich Town, 53 minutes played. Can they get 2 goals in front? And it comes from Davis, punched away by Cumming, not too far. Krastev brings it down inside the Oxford area, and fouled. No, not fouled by Philogene. Philogene takes the ball for Krastev. Krastev concedes another corner kick as he challenges Egerly.
Yeah, I thought it was a foul by Philogene there, but the referee ignored it, and he's given a corner kick in the end. So another chance. This time it's the right footer as opposed to Leif Davis's left foot.
Nunez with an away swinging corner kick for Ipswich Town. Off to our left hand side. They lead Oxford 2-1, and it comes again. Good delivery headed by O'Shea towards goal, blocked off. Eventually turned away for near stick towards Kiyuste. No confidence in that effort whatsoever. Belted up the Suffolk night sky in a way. Matusiwa wins a header in midfield. The initial effort from O'Shea was going to be trouble for Oxford. Just had bodies back. O'Shea's done very well to spin in the middle of the field and give the ball out to the right hand side. Egerly running at Curry once again. A little reverse pass to Nunez is brilliant for the Norwegian. Nunez square looking for Akpom. Oxford get it away. Egerly wins it for Town. His effort's blocked off. Surely that's hands from Brown. Everybody feels for a penalty kick, including Kieran McKenna, although it's quieting down. Not too many people on the field. Davis up towards Akpom. Nice control from Akpom. Gives it to Nunez. Egerly has the ball. No, back to Akpom inside the area. Just blocked off. Egerly had so much room. He just looked to his right-hand side, Nunez, rather than try to thread it forward. Now there's some silliness involving Akpom and a couple of Oxford players, which will have to be dealt with. Grabbing each other by the scruff of the neck off to our left-hand side. O'Shea, the captain's gone to have a little word with the referee about what he thinks he saw. It might have been Hellick and Akpom. Yellow card for Chuba Akpom, first of all, from the referee.
He'll get himself in big trouble in a minute, Akpom. Just leave it alone. Winning the game 2-1. We're looking to go 3-1 in front. Too personal, that. Just ignore it.
Let's see in amongst all that whether there's a yellow card for an Oxford player. Certainly Akpom got one. I think Brown has also been carded for his part, and that all coming together. 10.5 minutes gone in the second half. Still no goals since the half-time interval. Town 2-1 ahead. Let's go to Graham though.
A couple more goals for Bristol City. They lead Portsmouth 4-0, and Josh Sargent for Norwich. They're one up at QPR.
A big win for Norwich. Every win's big for them down at that end of the table. Good day all round, in fact, for Norwich, with Portsmouth clearly heading towards defeat and Oxford staring down the barrel. The Canaries ahead at Loftus Road as Kayuste gives the ball to Davis down in front of us. 11 minutes gone in the second half. Kipre finds O'Shea. O'Shea goes into the centre circle. Down through it, he passes the ball back to Kipre, who'll eat up maybe 15-16 yards. In the end, Philogene passes the ball back to O'Shea in the centre. Furlong almost sold short by O'Shea. Dembele fancied that one.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand why we vacated this side. We had good numbers on this side and good control of the ball, and then we sort of went the other side of the pitch, and I didn't think it was necessary.
Mills tall enough to leap and head the ball out of play when Davis was trying to get in behind him. Town still running the risk of making a mistake or just going to sleep for a second and allow Oxford back into this game. I'll be sitting a lot more comfortably if and when it goes to 3-1. Maybe that'll happen now. Davis has it on the left-hand side in an attacking position. Gets the ball back from Akpom. Low into the area to Nunez! Saved by coming over the top for a corner.
Yeah, good play by Leif Davis. He sort of manipulated the whole thing down the left-hand side there. Got the cross in nicely. And Nunez steers the ball on target. He can't do any more than that. So it was a difficult opportunity, but he did as well as you could have done.
Town got McAteer, Clark, Taylor and Athon all out in their red bibs. Corner kick to Ipswich Town. Davis with an away swinger in front of the Sir Bobby Robson stand. 58 minutes played at Portman Road. An opportunity for Town to go 3-1 ahead. In comes the yellow ball. It's bounced as far as Nunez, who gets right under it and almost reaches the upper tier of the standoff to our left.
Yeah, the ball in has just swung a little bit too wild, a little bit away from the danger zone. It finds Nunez, but he had to shoot in a hurry and really got it sort of badly wrong.
Goal kick to Oxford United. Craig Short having a chat with one of his assistants down below. He's a good defender in his days with the likes of Blackburn and Derby. Craig Short in the early days of the Premier League. Kayuste heads the ball up. Hallett gets there ahead of Akpom.
Yeah, very tough defender.
He was, wasn't he? Here is Long with this throw-in for Oxford United. Came via the playoffs in 2024. In terms of their survival battle, they still have Norwich, Charlton and Sheffield Wednesday at home. Massive games for them as the season progresses. Kipre to O'Shea in the centre of the half, off to our right-hand side. O'Shea forward to Kayuste in midfield, gliding away from a couple of challenges. Rides the second one through to Akpom, just too much on it. The referee played a good advantage there. There's a clear foul on Kayuste, but then he put too much on his pass, trying to thread it through to Akpom, and it's back to the keeper.
Yeah, you can't give him everything. He wanted the advantage. The referee gave it to him, and he basically wasted it with that. That was a bit too difficult, that pass. You know, it had to be absolutely perfect.
Kipre, as we approach the hour mark on BBC Radio Suffolk. Incredibly, only once in the last 17 years have Ipswich Town won their first game of a calendar year. Lots of draws in there. 4 years ago they beat Gillingham, Kieran McKenna's first new year in charge, but haven't fared particularly well early January in the league. But this is a heck of a chance to get another opening win of the year. O'Shea, full match commentary, match day 2 till 6 on Sunday of Ipswich Town away at Portsmouth. O'Shea going through the middle, looking for Philogene, headed away by Hellick, controlled in midfield by Akpom, now running at the back line. Akpom upended by Hellick, it's a free kick, and Hellick also joins Brown alongside him in terms of being booked.
Yeah, a little bit loose there with his challenge, and it's a good position. That's the main thing. Very good position.
Nunez is going to get another crack at one of these free kicks. It's about time another one went in. They've been poor of late. Davis is also there. Still amazes me that Philogene shows no interest in these set pieces.
Yeah, he's over here on the left-hand side. He's wandered away. Dara O'Shea's got something to say on this occasion. Oh.
Just reminded Nunez what he did at QPR.
And then he
done since.
His hand action sort of indicated he didn't quite agree with the response he got from Nunez.
Well, it could go either way. It's slightly left of centre, but Davis and Nunez are the two potential candidates. Free kick to Ipswich Town, about 26 yards from the Oxford goal line. 62 minutes played at Portman Road. Town 2-1 ahead. Who will it be, Davis or Nunez? Forward comes Nunez, and it's saved brilliantly by Cumming. Couldn't have done much more, the Chilean. That was a really good stop, and you've got to feel that keeps Oxford in this game.
Yeah, good save, good shot. It's on his side, it's on the goalkeeper's side. That's the only thing I would say about it. It's the most difficult side to score because the goalkeeper's close to that post, and that's why the goalkeeper was able to actually get there. He only had to get 2 yards across to the ball.
Nunez with Ipswich Town's 7th corner kick of this game. Right-footed, in it comes, headed away by Hellick, not too far. It's going to land inside the box. Furlong goes down inside the area. No one on the field appeals for a penalty, just a few in the north stand. Lancashire back defending, upended by Furlong. Free kick to Oxford.
Yeah, say thank you very much for that, because he was in a difficult position, Lancashire. He didn't really know what to do there. His mind was made up by the bad tackle.
Jacob Greaves grinning as he jogs back towards the bench down below us. Did ever so well the other night, but understandable why Leif Davis was in, and it's what Greaves would have probably expected. I think Oxford are going to make another change by the looks of things. Get somebody up off their bench. Headed out by Furlong. For a throw on the far side, the Oxford left. Curry to take it, 18 minutes gone in the second half. 0800 141 2121, the phone number to get in touch. We'll have a chat to Graham and Mick before 6 o'clock, or before 5:30ish anyway. De Keersmaker had that great chance to make it 2-2 in the second half. Back the ball goes to Hellick. And then Brown back towards Cumming. Fine save from Nunez's free kick. Cumming, good football from the keeper. On the far side is picked out Curry. Curry held up by Nunez. Goes in field to Volks. Now along the deck, Hellick finds Long. Long comes in field for Oxford United. Oxford with a bit of possession, but Town keeping their shape behind the ball. Goes long from Hellick, headed away by Davis. Taken on the chest to Keersmaker. Nice play, infield from Long. Long with a lovely looking cross. O'Shea headed it away, and he needed to make that. Lancashire was going to tap it in for 2-2. Excellent defending from the captain. Terrible ball from Krastev, straight to Philogene, who clears it to the centre spot, taken on the chest of Brown. He slips it along the deck to the far side, and Curry. It's a really good ball in from Long a few moments ago. It's Luke Harris, midfielder on loan from Fulham, who's about to be coming on for Oxford, possibly for Volks, I guess, the way the scoreline is at the moment. Davis back towards Christian Walton. Walton plays it left-footed, diagonally across his penalty area to Dara O'Shea. O'Shea dwells on the ball and goes back to Walton. No signs of any changes. Or actually, as I look down now, it looks like Burns and Clark are about to come on for Ipswich Town, so one would imagine that's it for Eggerly and Be popular when he makes his Portman Road return in the next few moments, as Town at the moment just killing time by passing the ball around their back line, trying to draw Oxford in. Davis round the corner to Matusiwa. Matusiwa has Lancashire all over him. Matusiwa's done well. Kipre digs the ball up towards Akpom. Akpom with a chest down. He'll be desperate to stay on the field. He won't want to see Ivan Athon warming up any time. Trip from Long on Philogene. No, don't think so. Not a play for nothing other than a throw-in. Kieran McKenna having a word at the moment with Jack Clark in particular.
This is the type of game Jack Clark scores in, isn't it?
Oh yeah, most of the games when he comes off the bench he tends to get a goal. Fans are going to be pleased to see Wes Burns back. Kipre infield to O'Shea. Still a quarter of this match to go. Still go wrong for Ipswich Town. Hopefully the changes will freshen things up. Matusiwa guides the ball back to O'Shea. Home fans getting a bit restless with Town holding on to it at the back. Furlong trying to get it over the top of Curry, the left back, for Nunez, who'd run in behind. Egerly picks up the ball, possibly in his last little piece of the action. Runs into traffic, ball's out far side. Here come the two changes for Ipswich Town. Has the referee spotted? Yeah, he has. He's heard on his headset. So Egerly is going off, and Wes Burns makes his Portman Road return. Hasn't played here since facing Brighton on the 16th of January in the Premier League last year, and he's going to get without it on time, probably 25, 26 plus minutes. It's a very popular substitution with the much loved Welshman back at Portman Road. That's quite some roar. The other change is Nunez going off to be replaced by Clark. Philogene staying on.
I'd already crossed Philogene out. I wish he would not mess about.
I know, he's thrown us there.
Doesn't he know that I did that?
So Clark will be going into the number 10 position. He'll enjoy himself in there for this final quarter of the game.
Yes, he will.
Little rest for Nunez ahead of probably starting on Sunday. Kipre, surely Ipswich Town are going to go on and get at least a third goal in this game. Kipre to the left and Davis in space. Back it goes to Kiyuste. Now Cedric Kipre on the ball for Town. Rolls it infield to Matusiwa. Matusiwa into the box to Kiyuste. This is a nice play. Can Town find a player in the box to shoot? It's Matusiwa, blocked from two players in front of him, who's shooting side-footed from the D. It's gone out of play for a corner to Ipswich Town, their fifth of this second half. Was that goal news, Graham?
Yeah, Preston 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. A Tom Ince hat-trick for Watford. They lead Birmingham 3-0.
Goodness me, still going strong.
Going well.
Tom Ince, wonderful. I'm guessing 32, 33, I can't remember from seeing his stats recently. 33 now. That's a remarkable achievement for him. And Watford very much on the up at the moment. Corner kick to Ipswich Town in the 69th minute. Leif Davis to swing it in left-footed off to our left-hand side. Come on, Town, get a third goal towards the far stick. It almost went in directly from Davis. As it is, it just missed that far post and it's out behind.
Thank you so much for your
Yeah, I think the referee's given an infringement there, but that was a good ball in. We had two players right on top of the goalkeeper in that 6-yard box.
28,199 the attendance at Portman Road this afternoon. Derby have taken the lead against Middlesbrough 1-0 to Caden Jackson and co. Terrific afternoon for Ipswich Town if that stays as it is. Free kick for a foul. Actually, it's gone the way of Ipswich Town, even though it's an Oxford United player down just inside their half. More goals, Graham.
Yeah, in addition to Derby 1, Middlesbrough 0, an equaliser for Charlton at home to Coventry 1-1.
Wow, it's a very, very good afternoon for Ipswich Town at the moment. That'd be an incredible result. Charlton gets something there. Clark for Ipswich, trying to do some damage down the right-hand side of the Oxford United box. Oxford clear the ball away through Brown. Into touch on the far side for a throw to Ipswich. Approaching the final 20 minutes here at Portman Road. Let's hope Ipswich Town don't throw away points here. It's a really good opportunity for them. Kipre. Would be scandalous if they don't get all three from this. Akpom, very deep. The match we're in at the moment, Chuba Akpom. and got that third goal of the game. Kipre challenged from behind by Mills, now actually a full-time Oxford player, having joined from Everton following a loan. Here is De Keersmaker. Brown plays it back to Cumming, right-footed, fires it up towards Lancashire. One though by Furlong before it reaches Lancashire. De Keersmaker challenges Clark, and the ball now is back with Jamie Cumming inside the Oxford United penalty area. Headed on the far side by Curry. Dembele takes a flying dive off the field, throw to Ipswich. And
he has some battles, Furlong, doesn't he?
He does. I was just thinking exactly the same thing about Daniel Furlong. A few battles with left-sided players of late, none more so than the one on Monday, which was very watchable, very entertaining. Didn't give Mason Clark a sniff. O'Shea having spotted a good run from the outside in from Leif Davis through the middle. Cleared away though by Mills. Krastev holding off Kipre, doing very well Krastev to get the ball back to Mills. Mills trying to thread up towards Lancashire. Lancashire with a touch, didn't have enough on it to go round O'Shea, thankfully. Walton feinted to clear first time long. In the end he's gone short to Matusiwa. Roared on by the home crowd. The Dutchman's carried the ball up to the centre spot and dinks it towards the chest of Clark. Clark turns and runs forward with the ball, gets away from Dembele, who maybe just got enough on ball and player to put Clark out of his stride. Dembele threads it up to halfway, and Krastev. Curry, the left back for Oxford United. Funnier things have happened in Ipswich Town world than Oxford United getting an equaliser at some point in the next 18 minutes. Hold on to your hats, it's not beyond the realms. Here in the middle for Volks. I've had to put money on the next team to score. It obviously go Ipswich Town with what they've got out there, but 2-1. Oxford might well have taken that if it had been offered ahead of the game. With 18 minutes to go, you're just one goal behind. Here they are down the left-hand side with Curry underneath their supporters, taking on Burns, getting the better of him, getting his cross in, Curry, towards the header of Mills, who was never going to generate enough power to trouble Walton. It was off target.
Yeah, well, they've probably had the best chance of certainly the second half, possibly the game. You know, they did miss it, you know, which would have been 2-2. So, but they haven't really looked as if they might do it. You know, it's more a question of can Town just get that opportunity and take it to 3-1, which is so different.
Luke Harris has come on for Philip Krastev for the final 17 minutes as Town pass it around at the back. Kipre gives it to Davis, closed down by Mills. Back it goes to Kipre. Kipre clears up to Akpom. Akpom can't get the better of Halleck. Brown almost gave it to Akpom. Oxford though get the ball back to their goalkeeper. Athon and Taylor about to come on for Ipswich Town. One would imagine for Akpom and Kiyuste. Kiyuste at the moment battling for the ball in midfield. Kipre to Matusiwa, shouts a man on from the crowd. Matusiwa got the ball onto Kiyuste, who's lost it. Town won it back. Matusiwa to Akpom, in on goal for 3-1, not quite. He couldn't get away from the final defender as he tried to cut in field. And all the Ipswich Town analysts just to our left-hand side with their heads in their hands, and most of them up on their feet as well, as an opportunity went begging.
Yeah, it was a bit of a sort of a chance if he had got his touch a little bit better, but he still had to sort of squeeze through two Oxford defenders.
Oxford with Halleck. 16 to go live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Still 2-1 Ipswich Town. No goals in the second half so far. Maybe that'll change when they have the injection of Athon up top and Taylor in midfield. It's going to be interesting to see the team sheet on Sunday, whether Town just go back to the Coventry lineup with Davis in for Greaves, or whether it's something a bit different. On the right, Long gives it away straight to Davis. Davis measures a pass to Akpom. Nice layoff from Akpom to Philogene, who's not been as noisy in the second half. Philogene, he's caught late. Foul on him by Volks. Done that challenge a few times down the years, and he gets a yellow card on this occasion, Will Volks. Yes.
For a minute I didn't know whether he had actually caught him, and it was a little bit of a leap in the air.
Off goes Kiyuste,
not sure.
replaced by Taylor. Is that going to be the day up for Chuba Akpom? Yes, it is. Off he goes. He deserves a good ovation. For his first Portman Road goal, Chuba Akpom will be replaced by Ivan Athon for the final 15 minutes.
Yeah, he's done okay. He's got himself a goal, so that's the all-important thing. And he's done. His game's been all right, but that's a tight race between him and Asson, because Asson played well over at Coventry.
Davis on this free kick, very close to this near touchline for Ipswich Town. 14 to go at Portman Road. Athon wants the ball short. Davis puts it over the top for Philogene. Lovely free kick. Philogene's been an excellent run. Just too much on it from Davis, but it was so unlucky. Again involving that two down the left-hand side. Cumming was quickly onto the ball in the Oxford penalty area. Yeah, full match commentary on Sunday, 2 till 6 match day of Ipswich Town's game at Portsmouth. Final league game for a couple of weeks because Blackpool are here in the cup after that. Matusiwa to Clark. Clark with a cross looking for Athon. It would have been his first touch to put it into the net had it gone beyond Cumming, but Cumming caught it just outside the Oxford 6-yard area. Big kick forward from the Oxford number 1, too big for Lancashire. And this little header popped back to Walton by Cedric Kipre. Kipre gets the ball from Walton. Back it goes to Walton. O'Shea along the floor to Furlong. Furlong hoists the ball forward. Clark with a back heel in field. It reaches Athon. Taylor's made a run. Athon's gone backwards to Kipre, who has the ball on the centre circle, just crossing the halfway line. Kipre towards Philogene. Philogene drags it back, trying to take on a couple of Oxford players. He loses out to Long in field to De Keersmaker. Now Mills gets the ball out from under his feet, blocked off by Philogene. Out it goes for a throw to Oxford United.
Yeah, I don't know why Oxford don't go a little bit longer than they have been, because they're not very good at passing short and doing the intricate stuff.
Long infield to Brown. Brown out to the far side, and Curry making tracks, trying to get away from Burns. Burns has gone after him. In goes Furlong. Out the ball goes for a throw to Oxford outside the Ipswich Town penalty area. Where's Burns having to do some tracking back there, helping out Darnell Furlong. Kieran McKenna sitting down and looking at one of his 3 screens in front of the home bench. 33 gone in the second half, 2-1 Town. It's a throw-in for the visitors. Those Oxford fans looking down on Will Volks as he hurls the ball into the Ipswich Town area, headed away by O'Shea, not very far, nodded towards goal by Luke Harris. I wondered if he could have brought that down and had a go. Davis cleared left-footed toward De Keersmaker. He has a little header over the top of Clark. Clark is challenged by Harris. Clark gets the ball to Matusiwa. Matusiwa to Taylor. Taylor spotted the run of Burns, didn't have room to find him. Dembele comes away with the ball for Oxford United. Intercepted well by Furlong, but runs away from him. Volks has done very well to lift the ball out to the left-hand side, and Curry, of course, as Oxford trying to get this equalised. Every chance Town might be able to hit them on the break. At the moment, Town having to do some defending. Not for long, overhit by Curry out behind.
Yeah, good play, Leif Davis, to just realise that the player hadn't really threatened him from behind there, so, he lets it out for a goal kick. But it's quite amazing, really, because this second half, I don't know how they've managed to do it, but they've sort of taken the percentage of possession. It's 66 now, Town, and they were sort of above 75 at one stage.
Headed on by Athon, but to no one. Brown has the ball for Oxford. It will be so frustrating if Oxford do somehow get themselves back into this game. Here is Hellick at the back for them. Just say hopefully Town can hit them on the break. As Volks gets the ball from Cumming up to halfway. Dembele cushions it with a nice first touch away from Matusiwa, then finds Harris. Long gives it back to Volks, approaching the final 10 minutes on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Still Town it have a hold of the 3 points. De Keersmaker, one touch stuff from Hellick to Volks, down the right touchline. Long infield to De Keersmaker. 9 blue shirts behind the ball, only Athon in advance of it. Now even he comes back and helps out. Trying to get the ball over the top of Davis and get Mills in behind, but between Davis and Philogene, can't get the ball away. Bit tippy-tappy from Taylor, and then Mills gets the better of Taylor. Mills inside the Ipswich Town area, chance to shoot left-footed, blocked off. It was going across the goal towards the far corner. It's a good block before Walton was going to have to be called upon. Oxford win it back. Volks to Mills. Now chance for De Keersmaker. Has a go. Comes off the backside of a Town player. Deflected out and back to Walton. But here comes the reaction from the crowd. I knew this was coming. They're not overly taken with what they're seeing from Town at the moment.
No, and they could have played the ball down the right side there. There was a good run into the box down the player's right-hand side. I think he should have played it there and we would have been in trouble. But the crowd don't like this.
9 minutes to go. Last we heard, Middlesbrough were behind. Coventry had been pegged back to 1-1. Unforgivable if Town don't go on and win this game. What an opportunity this afternoon's turning out to be for them to get into the top two and close the gap on Coventry. Davis back to Cedric Kipre. Now Taylor just on the field recently for Jens Kajuste. Had a very good game at Coventry the other night. Ashley Young coming on for Ipswich Town. Interesting one. Kipre to O'Shea. Forward from O'Shea over the top of Athon. Brown. I would imagine surely it's one for one of the fullbacks, Young. Long. Towards Brown. Now then, it's Jamie Cumming. 82 minutes played. Oxford about to make a change of their own. Brown up towards Lancashire. Lancashire gives it to Mills, who's been lively in the second half. Mills, bit of a fan's favourite at the Kassam Stadium. He's up against 3 Ipswich Town players. In the end thought he'd won the throw-in, but he hasn't quite managed to do it. It's Mark Harris who scored against Ipswich at the Kassam Stadium as the change for Oxford by the looks of things. So Ashley Young, the final alteration for Ipswich Town in the next few moments. Thrown from Davis back to Kipre. Walton, first time, left-footed, high up towards the halfway line. Philogene beaten by Long in the air. Matusiwa's header finds Taylor. Taylor nods it back to Matusiwa. He finds Kipre. Kipre back to Walton. Walton gives it to Matusiwa. There is O'Shea out to Furlong, up to the halfway line for Ipswich Town. Clark has the ball into the middle and Matusiwa. Davis is making a run out to the left-hand side. Matusiwa though goes to Kipre. Leif Davis coming in field, edge of the Oxford box. Little disguised ball to Athon. Athon with a back heel into the middle, cleared away by an Oxford defender. Matusiwa stretches, brings it down for Kipre. Here come Town again. Philogene down the right-hand side to Davis. In comes Long on the Town fullback. Here come the changes, one per bench. Philogene is going off to be replaced by Ashley Young. And as I say, Mark Harris. Is he replacing Lancashire? Yes, he is. Off goes the Oxford goal scorer to be replaced by Mark Harris. Like for like, switch that then. So I'd imagine Clark will go down the left-hand side. Young will go in a more central area, alongside Taylor and just in front of Matusiwa. Davis throws the ball into Matusiwa. Too heavy a touch. No, he's still held on to it. Matusiwa wide left outside the Oxford area. Pulls it back 2-1. Ipswich Town lead Oxford. 5.5 minutes to go. Town with some possession inside the Oxford half. Nice touch from Matusiwa. Infield to Clark. Gets away from the first player and the second. Wide left outside the Oxford area. Good play this from Clark. On his right foot, pulls it back. Maybe a chance for Ashley Young's first touch of the game to be a shot towards goal, but he was closed down at a vital moment and the ball pops up to Cumming.
Yeah, Jack Clark did exceptionally well there, and it didn't come to anything, but that's what we need. We need somebody to start commanding the ball and getting control of the game.
I do love to see him run with the ball. He's such a good player, Jack Clark. He's terrific to watch when he's on his game. 5 minutes to go. Kipre has the ball at the back. There's free kick for Ipswich Town. 2-1. So they don't do anything silly. Kipre between the lines to Matthew Siwa, short of the halfway line, out to the right hand side. He tries to feed Burns, telegraphed, easily intercepted by Curry, the fullback. Infield to Dembele. It could be the spark that Oxford need at some stage. Or this man Mills trying to take on Davis. Davis has defended him well, and Mills tries to cross, pretty much knowing it was going to come off Davis for a throw to Oxford, and that means they can chuck the big man forward. Brown and in particular Hellick. So Hellick should be a massive threat from these kind of positions. Volks for Oxford with this throw-in. 4 minutes to go at Portman Road. Town only lead 2-1, and it comes from Will Volks, headed away by Kipre, back towards Volks, cleared by Clark though, up towards the halfway line, brought down by Curry. He finds De Keersmaker clips the ball to the edge of the area. Furlong has to win the header against Hellick, which he's managed to do. There's a foul by Hellick on the Town right back, that'll do.
Yeah, I think that was fair enough. It was a bit aggressive, it wasn't really his ball.
Free kick at the back as one or two people shout, "Come on, Town." That's the sentiment, because we're heading towards the closing stages of this game, and it still remains just that 1-goal advantage for Ipswich Town, and a really good chance for them to get themselves into the top 2 of the division. Middlesbrough still losing, and Coventry still drawing at the moment. Throw on the far side for Oxford United, just 3 minutes away from being told how much added on time there is going to be at Portman Road. O'Shea up and out. It's going to be a throw again to the visitors, who travel to Sheffield United on Sunday. That's a really difficult game for them. O'Shea chasing the ball back into his own penalty area. Walton passes it out to Matthew Siwa. It was a bit risky from the goalkeeper. It worked out well, very confident. Matthew Siwa to Taylor. Now Ashley Young in the centre of Portman Road. Out to the left-hand side, he finds Clark. Davis has gone in front of Clark. Clark, the number 47, still has the ball. Gives it back to Ashley Young. Then O'Shea in the centre of the Oxford half. Town pass it around. Kipre finds Leif Davis. Young's made a run. Davis finds Young wide left outside the Oxford area. Gets into the box. Hellick blocks him off. Young then sees the ball out behind for a corner kick to Ipswich.
Well, you know, that was okay. We worked the ball okay. We've got ourselves a corner, but we've sort of lost something from our game.
2 minutes of normal time to go. Now would be a good time for Ipswich Town to make it 3-1, and then we can all start to celebrate a fine opening day win in 2026. At the moment at 2-1, we're still on the edge of our seats. Corner kick for Town, in it comes, headed away on the near post by Curry, the left back, out as far as Davis. Plenty of players forward to hit off to our left-hand side in blue. Clark wants to take on Curry on the corner of the area, dinks it in to the middle, headed by O'Shea towards goal, but it was a back header which was easily caught by Cumming.
Yeah, just you know, there's no pace on the cross, there's no pace on the header, consequently, so the goalkeeper deals with it with comfort.
Oxford pass the ball back to their goalkeeper Cumming. Again, Brown has the ball for the visitors. Clark closes them down. He has to use his goalkeeper yet again. Afterwards, 0800 141 2121. Chat to Graham and Mick, hopefully about an Ipswich Town win. Text 81333. Start those messages SFK. WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Oxford coming forward. Still everybody back behind the ball for Ipswich Town. Oxford have the ball with Dembele. Out to the left, he catches Curry flat-footed, and that will do. As Furlong goes down on his haunches, but he's going to be okay. About 10 seconds before we're told how much added on time there is going to be. Hopefully not a great deal as far as Ipswich Town are concerned. Athon, 3 minutes of added on time. We'll take that, could have been a lot worse. With 3 minutes of added on time, we're going to start with a Town throw-in well inside the Oxford half. Furlong coming forward to take it, not in a massive rush as you would imagine. Kieran McKenna stares on, arms folded down below us. We'll hear from the Town boss before 6 o'clock on match day, and hopefully get reaction from an Ipswich Town player as well. Furlong throws the ball towards Taylor, but it goes straight out behind. Goal kick to Oxford. Again they go short. Again it goes back to Cumming. Then he lifts it over the top of Taylor onto the chest of Brown. Brown brings it away. Jack Taylor's gone after him. Curry up towards Mark Harris. Poor touch from Matusiwa. Dembele gets on the ball. Mills wants it near side. Dembele can't find him because Matusiwa closed him down really quickly. Forward from Volks towards the back header of Long. Is a really good one, but Mills is offside. O'Shea belted the ball away. And Long having to go at the fourth official. Azor Matusiwa awarded man of the match here at Portman Road, not for the first time.
Yeah, it was offside. I thought it was close, but it was offside.
Very good spot from the assistant on the near side. Got a volley of abuse from Sam Long, but his work was correct. 90 seconds to go here at Portman Road. It's Walton, left-footed, long downfield. Hellick heads the ball to Burns. Burns loses it to Volks. Maybe a last chance for Oxford to get an unlikely point. No, back comes Athon and also Burns. They've robbed Curry of the ball. Burns up to Taylor. Taylor with a head on to Athon. Athon trying to get Clark away, but the ball goes away from him. It favours Sam Long. Long plays it down the line to Mills. Mills with a very clever dummy, which has taken Leif Davis completely out of the game. Mills, what can he do for Oxford? Up to the edge of the Ipswich Town area, taken on Kipre, wide right, low into the centre, deflected. Headed away by O'Shea, needed to make that header. Oxford will get one more chance in the second phase of this attack to get an unlikely draw. Mills on the right-hand side, he's been quite bright in the second half. Low ball into the box, effort by Luke Harris has come off Azor Matusiwa. Corner kick to Oxford United, their first of the second half. Would you believe it?
I think they might have conned the referee out of that one.
Corner kick to Oxford right at the end of this game. It's their first corner kick of the second half. We've gone beyond the added on 3 minutes. What a kick in the teeth this would be for Ipswich Town if they drop 2 points now. De Keersmaker with this set piece, and it comes headed away by Furlong. Poor from the Belgian, and here comes the full-time whistle, and it's a very happy new year at Portman Road. Ipswich Town start 2026 as they mean to go on with a massive victory in the Championship, which takes them into the automatic promotion places for the first time this season. They've beaten Oxford United by 2-1.
Well, the result's a good one, and it possibly could be a good day that's a good one as well, but the performance is one that so often we come to expect from this group, you know, where we have that fabulous performance at Coventry, and then we come here today, start the game in the right way. We look as if we're going to deal with it absolutely comfortably. We take the lead. We don't retain the lead. Oxford come back at us, having had no possession whatsoever. We have a little bit of a dodgy little spell, and then, of course, we managed to get back in the lead, but for a long time, in the second half, it was very, very ordinary stuff. The crowd were disappointed with it. They voiced their opinion on occasions, but then by the end of the day, you've got to say it's job done. Good Christmas, good New Year, better than our opponents, and hopefully a lot of the results around the country will stay as we believe they are, and it'll be a perfect day. It really will, so we've got ourselves into a terrific league position, but we must learn how to maintain our performance levels, because if you've ever been involved in this game, if your performances are good, your results will be better than they would be if your performances are low. Don't you believe that you can always have a way of getting over the line? The best way of getting over any line is by performing well. But we do splutter at times, and I think we spluttered today. So,
what do you think that's down to? Because it does happen with this group, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think basically, I think we're better as a team if we don't have so much of the ball, if we can play counter-attacking football. Obviously today was going to be large amounts of possession, patience, the opposition sort of sitting very much in front of you, not coming towards the ball hardly at all. Because we mentioned very, very early in the game, the two players that would have the most of the possession would be the two centre-halves. So they have got to get their passing right. I think they did for half an hour. I think it was okay for half an hour. You know, there was just the blip that we had for their goal, you know, and that was just came right out of the blue. And again, I think that's another thing that possibly happens to us. When we have some adversity, we allow it to affect us too much. You know, when things are going nicely for us, I think that we invariably do the right type of thinking. We have the right approach to it. But if anything just goes against us, we find it very difficult to come back from that. So I think, one, we're not the best in the world at playing against a team that will play defensively. And also, if anything goes wrong, we let it affect us. So they're two things that I think we must improve on as the season goes on.
Finally, the full-time whistle has gone at Derby. I think they got to about the 100-minute mark, and Derby have beaten Middlesbrough by 1-0. So that is confirmed. And also Coventry dropped points with a draw at Charlton. So all round, it's been a terrific start to the new year for Ipswich, and just about perfect, or at least as good as we could have hoped for, with the two teams above them dropping points. And as I said there, Town into the top two of the Championship after 25 games for the first time this season, after a 2-1 win over Oxford.